bit. It's not hurting like the spot.
Is that back way out of here? I am good.
All right.
Anything new on the street?
Yeah, have a game, dog.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, long time you get a little peace when you sitting
No,
there.
ma'am, I'm fine. Thank you. Good morning.
Is that back way out of here?
You girl.
They moved me.
Good to see you. You doing all right?
Good morning to you.
Yeah, have a game, dog.
Appreciate it. And you good? Thank you, man.
You girl.
They moved me. Good morning to you. Appreciate it. And you good?
You don't even need us one to do. Do whatever you in charge. Yes. So wait a minute. So yeah, but Carl and John landed now. They just Winston and I have to we'll bring it back. We'll have to
Not
get
only do I have one, I will tell the story.
You got pictures?
Yeah, I got pictures of
Morning. Good morning. Welcome. This is the big day, the final day after interviews. We've had this week. We've had 5 semifinalists to interview with the search committee. They've interviewed with all of you. I want to say a special thank you to the Hollins group, if they'll stand up. Alan Sessoms and Melvin. And by the way, Melvin is an alumni of what year? 96 Grambling alumni. So, you know, we credit them with the hard decision that we have today, and we're very thankful for the interest in Grambling and for their hard work to bring these candidates to us. We've spent a great deal of time this week poring over the interviews, and I know that so many of you have been faithful to be here every day. And for those of you who could not be here every day, I know you went to the website and viewed the YouTube videos. I don't know what we did before technology, but it's a fantastic way for the entire Grambling family to be able to take a look at all of the candidates that are interested in Grambling. It's an important decision. And I think the decision for who will be the next president of any of our institutions is the most important responsibility of this board. And I feel a deep sense of responsibility and burden myself personally that is my most important responsibility as well, is to make sure that we have strong leadership at each one of our institutions, and there's no institution more important in this state than Grambling University. And we thank you for your support as we've gone through this process. We know that whichever candidate emerges as the president of Grambling University, that everyone in this room and everyone outside of this room will give that candidate, that new president, their full support so that we can move Grambling to the place that Grambling needs to be. And so thank you again for your support. We appreciate the work that we've all done. I also, before we get started, want to say thank you to my own staff. All of my staff, please raise your hand. Most of them are working. Lisa in the back. We're a really small staff, but fierce, I like to say. And a lot of logistics had to go right this week, and I just want to say thank you to them. And then I also have to say thank you to the Grambling staff. All of the people at Grambling that work to help this search go. I want all of the Grambling staff to stand up. There's some here in the back. Come on, stand up. It is hard to describe how much work goes into, and I'm sure I don't even know and don't want to know, but I know that a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of work went into the logistics of making sure that these interviews went off smoothly, and we thank you for the work that you did. Okay, now I would like to call us into open session. May I have a motion and a second? Erica, can you please call the roll?
Miss Maggie Brakefield?
Yes.
Mr. Edward Crawford?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly Faircloth?
Yes.
Mr. David Goodry?
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Abear?
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Long? Mr. Jimmy Martin?
Here. Yes.
Mr. Sean Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Mark Romero? Mr. Winfred Seville? Dr. Sandra Woodley?
Here.
Dr. Herbert Simmons?
Here.
Miss Melissa Bickham?
Here.
Mr. Howard Davis?
Yeah.
Mr. Wilbert Ellis? Dr. Mildred Gallo?
Here.
Mr. Jonathan Wallace?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. Committee members, in your folders, you'll find the bios of the following 5 semifinalists: Dr. Wayne Brumfield, Dr. Gilbert Rashawn, Dr. Thomas Calhoun, Dr. Willie Larkin, and Dr. Glenda Carter. Again, of course, we all know we've heard the interviews this week and had the opportunity to interact. We'll be considering these candidates as we enter executive session to talk about additional personnel issues. Just also noted, there will be no votes taken in executive session. But before we go into executive session, are there any comments, any general comments from any member of the committee before we see if there are public comments? Carla, are there public comments?
I have received no cards. However, we do have microphones. We would take individuals coming and introducing themselves. They would have a minute and a half, and at the 30-second, I would signal them and then call time.
Okay. So if there are any of you who would like to give comments to the committee before we deliberate in an executive session, if you'll just come line up to the mic.
Good morning.
Welcome, James Bradford.
I must say, I'm having mixed emotions this morning about the action of the board. I stood before you on last Friday and told you there was a sweet, sweet spirit in this room. And I felt that way. So I have to tell you this morning, I have some serious concerns about what we're going to do. And I'm going to ask this board to make your decision. Somebody that can maybe do what you like them to do. But make your decision based on what's best for Grambling and who can best lead this university forward and bring us together. No, we don't need to go through this 3 years from now. And if we don't get it right, we'll be doing the same thing 3 years from now. Told you I've been involved in every service since Dr. Joseph Johnson. And since we've done this over and over because we didn't get it right. I'm asking you to get it right. Don't be influenced by rhetoric, motivational speaker, or long resume. Look at what the person has done. And now, I know we got to help somebody come in here and raise money, but we have to help do that. They're doing good to raise money. We don't have anything to raise it for. So I'm asking you all, give us the best person. It's somebody that we want. We are the ones, Grambling graduates, are the ones that support this university. To make sure you survive. So I'm doing as long as I can, please, and I'll thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much.
My question, which was not really raised in all these questions, is very important, which it is, to be addressed to the interview of hard people, and maybe the member of the committee maybe can ask them about that. What are your strategies that you are willing to implement to significantly increase the graduation rate and for those who become employed in their area of study? That is the mission of Grambling State University, to take the person, whoever they are, to reach the higher potential, their potential, which is start by graduation and get employed. everything else is immaterial after that. The mission of Grambling State University is to take the people who will not be accepted to many universities in the state and others. But the mission takes these people and take them where they are, to take them higher, to graduate. No many other universities have that mission. So the board, the governor, the state should be thankful for an institution who is willing to work with these, not throw developmental education, not decrease the budget, not let them recruit from California, not to have the tuition higher as much as possible. These are ridiculous barriers. Some people are putting this barrier in front of the mission of Grambling State University. Thank you, and I wish you pick the right person for Grambling who does what we're talking about. Thank you.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Well said.
No, I want to comment. Appreciate what Doc had to say. He's a friend and a great motivator. I think Doc's put out about 15 PhDs here, and I tip my hat to him. On the other hand, the Grambling Nation espouses many kids here that I've come to know, and I can tell you, everything Doc said is fact, but there are some very bright minds here that are going to lead this country later on. So I want to give Grambling a kudo with the recruitment and the passion that abounds to draw bright minds to Grambling that make the grade, that could go to school at other places, that are here. So, Doc, I agree, but I have to give credit to the bright young people that I've met here, and they're sitting out here smiling. I'd like some of you to stand up, would you please? The Grambling students that are here, stand up for us. I've talked to most of these kids. They're very bright, they're very smart, and they're going to be part of this nation's future, and I applaud them.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Are there other comments? Good morning.
Dr. Willie, members of this House Election Committee, and those supporters of Grambling State University. Strong men assembled to erect a great city and then set back to bolster. As Brenda Paul, we are the greatest city. We are the greatest nation that ever was. There were rats and there were lizards. The wind came and the rain came. And all that was left were the footprints of the rats and the lizards. And they can tell you nothing at all about the great city where strong men bolstered and women marveled. We are the greatest city. We are the greatest nation that ever was. 1901, Dr. Adams. 1936, Dr. Jones. 1977, Dr. Johnson. But within the last 10 to 12 years, there has been a revolving door in terms of the presidency at Grambling State University. Please allow us to once again go back to that point at which we can have a stable institution. I appreciate the time and effort that each person has given. The woodpecker pecks out a many speck of sawdust while building a hut. He works like a digger to make his hole bigger, and he stores his cutter on cut. He doesn't waste his time on plans of cheap artists, but there's one thing that can rightly be said. The entire explanation has but one explanation. He does it by using his head. Please continue.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Are there other comments?
That's talent. It's a good window.
Can't hear you, sir.
Talk in the mic. So, wherever you come through, you also have to know certain time, especially on the financial side and the enrollment side. We need to increase our enrollment to 6,000-7,000 children in the state. The financial side is crucial. Luckily, we were spared this year in the budget. That doesn't mean budget cut is wrong. Budget cut is coming. They come in mid-year or in the end of the year. Calling will give us something close to $3 million, which Grambling cannot afford. So whoever gets in has to start house cleaning, or what I call right sizing. From my estimate, million to $2 million that can be cleared right now. Put that money set aside and get it ready for budget transfer that we don't have to do exigency. Exigency is the worst thing any person can do. So please make sure that the person is knowledgeable in terms of enrollment, increasing enrollment, fundraising. We need to go to corporations and foundations to raise money. But most of all, I think the budget has to be tweaked right away.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Just before we go into executive session, want to just remind everyone of the process today so that everyone's clear on exactly how we will maneuver through this morning. We will go into executive session right now, as I said earlier, to discuss personnel issues related to the candidates. And then we will convene an open session and announce the two finalists. The two finalists that were submitted and voted on by the voting members of the committee that you see before you here, the search committee. At that point, the search committee's work is done. They've delivered the two finalists to the Board of Supervisors, and it's the Board of Supervisors that will determine from those two candidates who the president will be at Grambling. The Board of Supervisors will convene in a special called meeting at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, each one of the finalists will separately and individually come in and interview in front of the full board. The full board will go into executive session with each one of the candidates. And then once the interviews have been completed, the full board will make a determination which of the candidates is named the president of Grambling State University. So that's the process that will happen this morning. The board will not meet before 11 o'clock. That's the regularly called meeting. So at 11, we'll interview the finalists and make the final decision. And so with that, I would like to request that the committee meet in executive session pursuant to Statute 4217 to discuss personnel matters associated with the 5 semifinalists. Again, as a reminder, while in executive session, the committee will make no votes or take any other action. May I have a motion and a second to convene in executive session? Erica, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Maggie Brakebill?
Yes.
Mr. Edward Crawford?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly Fairclough?
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Abear?
Yes.
Mr. Jimmy Morton?
Yes.
Mr. Sean Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Herbert Simmons?
Yes.
It is unanimous.
Adjourn. Go back to the meat locker.
Thank you. Oh, no problem. Got him. Come on. Okay.
I didn't see it. I did not. It is.
But that's okay. You know, that's too
That's too bad. That's the way I'm done. And I'm not going to again to fail the system policies in the past. This
Okay.
is going to take. Now, I can certainly explain myself. If they do, I'll handle it. And I will be gracious.
Because you didn't mean it that way.
I do. Thank you, John. Go to them. Here, sorry. Second meeting, not okay. Well, that's okay because